What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another Dota 2 commentary brought to you by yours truly, B-Ballin. And let's get right into this matchup between Kaipi and Dignitas. Kaipi playing on the Radiant, Dignitas playing on the Dire. And yes, it has been a while since I've brought you a commentary, but unfortunately there have not been too many matches recently other than G League matches and other things like that, but LD's already covering them, so I might be able to bring you a couple of those replays if you really want it. But yeah, I plan to delve a lot into Defense 3 casting a bit more, uh, Dota 2 League by AC a bit more, and other things that I find more interesting. But yeah, took a little bit of break for the holidays, but now I'm back in full force. Let's get this new year off started. Well, it's not technically the new year, but close enough. But anyway, we have Dignitas, the American superstars, up on the Dire, and we have Kaipi, the European mix, who have a couple stands today, or just one stand. I think it's just SexyBamboe. And the rest of them are normal players. KPs are from, I think, Croatia, Babar playing from Lebanon, RMN playing from Germany. So yeah, they are global. They are all spread out across the Mediterranean region, but they can still play pretty good Dota. They made to the Division One Ghost League finals pretty frequently. I'm not too sure recently, but yeah, hopefully they'll be in for a good match. And Dignitas, after a little bit of struggle, seem to be getting off into a strong start after beating Navi and Team Liquid in earlier matches. So hopefully they can keep up their streak, and hopefully they can keep doing well to represent America strong. But yeah, we'll go over the picks and bans. So NA is now the new superstar first pick and first ban. If you haven't watched any replays recently, you know that NA has been first pick, first ban. He has Mana Burn, which does ridiculous damage. He has sort of a pseudo ravage. If you try to hit him, then you'll get stunned for 2.4 seconds, which is pretty ridiculous. And on top of that, you get your damage reflected. So it's incredibly annoying to deal with him. He doesn't need too many items in order to really play his support capacity very well. He needs a bit more items if you really want to play him mid-solo capacity, but as support, he really doesn't need too much to work with. Meanwhile, Kaipi picking up very strong heroes in their own right. Batrider, Consensus, along with Magnetar and NA, probably the top three strongest heroes in this version at the moment. TA and Luna. Luna has been the up and up in terms of carrying LGD int, been using him to great effect, and other teams as well have really loved that Luna aggressive style of pushing, get your items. And hey, if your aggressive push doesn't work out, she's pretty damn good late game, just saying. And Dignitas, I think, is one of the few teams who still like to run Tinker somewhat regularly, and you can see that they picked up in the first round rather than, I don't think Kaipi would have banned it or picked it themselves, but Dignitas really love using that Tinker. They like to get that map control. They love Bounty Hunter for snaking, but you can see Universe is standing in today. No snaking, but Bounty Hunter is definitely very instrumental for Dignitas. Other than that, Dignitas likes to go for crazy, weird picks from time to time. They were one of the first teams to get Undying Magnus in the first couple phases when before they really became popular. They're sort of like the hipsters of Dota. Oh, I was doing this before you even thought about it. Oh man, I'm so cool. But no, Dignitas are all really nice guys. Meanwhile, Kaipi, it'll be interesting to see what roles, because Mambo was mid-solo in Absolute Legends before he left, so it'll be interesting to see which role he will play. I know Babar usually does, I think, offlane or jungle, or I think just the three role in general. I don't think he plays the hard carry. And RMN, he can play pretty much any role. All the players on Kaipi are pretty versatile in that regard. And you can see Sven made it all the way to the fifth ban. Sven not broken because actually he's annoying to deal with, but he can be dealt with. Unlike other heroes, apparently like Magnetar, who, like I predicted, rather than just being offlane, has just switched to the mid lane, and reverse polarity is still as good as ever it is. I'm still surprised myself to see Undying picked and banned in such a high regard after all the nerfs to Decay and the bug fixes, but he is still a very annoying hero to deal with, much like Batrider and TA. So, yeah, as we're gonna wait, Dignitas have their support, have their offlane, and have their potential mid lane solo. He can also, I guess, technically jungle ancient stacks. So, Dignitas probably gonna look towards picking up a mid solo right around here. I think probably the best mid solo to match up against TA, because Barrett will most likely be in the jungle position. Will be, I guess, something like a Queen of Pain, or I don't know. Dignitas can really pick anything. Even Pudge isn't too bad against TA. Pudge is actually really strong versus TA. But I don't know if Dignitas will pick it up. I know Fog likes playing Pudge, but he also likes playing Tinker as well. So I don't think Dignitas will like to pick up the Pudge in this scenario. And Jakiro, still a very strong support, is still left in the pool. So I wouldn't be too surprised to see Jakiro being picked up for Way Too Sexy or for Tides of Time. But not really too surprised if it doesn't. I know Tides really likes playing jungle roles as well, so there could potentially be a Chen or Enchantress picked up. Jungle heroes have really sort of started to become much more infrequent, even though LGD Int has been making great use of Chen being played on Misery, and so that just shows that Dota is so very versatile all around the world. And what may seem like an easy pickup in one scene might not seem the obvious choice in another scene. But Jakiro is going to be the pickup for Dignitas right here, and what will Kaipi decide to do? They have two of their heroes in their defensive lane with Barrett, who can potentially jungle, potentially off lane. And keep in mind, Kaipi are on the range, so it's a little bit easier for Barrett to off lane. He can just cut and get easy access to the hard creep camp rather than just, floating around trying to kill Ancients if he was on the dire lane, which he can't do anyway because all his damage is magical. And TA will most likely be in the mid lane position, so I guess Kaipi could try to pick up another support if they really want to go on the aggressive in their trilane, and they are. They're going to put Lina in their trilane. So Lina, Shadow Demon, Luna. I mean, once that disruption goes off, anybody who is targeted will just die. Luna, 330 base movement speed. Lina, with that pretty high damaging and pretty strong nukes in her arsenal, will just tear through them, and Listen being such a low cooldown. Anybody who that combination will target will just die. And looks like Dignitas decided to pick up Phantom Lancer, so that will definitely be for AUI. Not Owie, as I have been led to believe, but it is actually AUI, as has been corrected in many streams since then. But yeah, I guess I won't choose to play in teams, but it looks like I have directed camera on, which I should have free camera on. Bad B-Ballin. You know better. But it's been a while since I casted a Dota 2 game. I actually casted a Dota 2 match with Eternal Envy, the Fragmite Throw Up in Finals, game number 2, but my XSplit crashed, and after every recording, or before every recording, I always do like 3 or 4 test recordings. Luminous, Shred Kid, anybody who I cast with Blightwind can attest to the fact that I do multiple test recordings to make sure the audio levels are right. And even though it doesn't really happen on my stream recordings, I can see from Pubtastic Adventures the volumes are a bit different. In my replay recordings, since it is a replay cast, since there isn't really too much pressure in terms of time, I do try to make sure my audio settings are correct. But unfortunately, in that game, after XSplit crashed, after the couple recordings, I restarted XSplit, and I just went on as normal. And guess what? You can only hear Eternal Envy's voice. You can't hear my voice at all. So it's just Eternal Envy talking to himself. I tried to record my voice, re-record it over, but it was just too hard to get the flow down. So that is unfortunate because Eternal Envy, really nice guy, spent an hour and a half casting that game with me, and it's a bit shame that it won't get up there. If you want to see it, I will upload it, but it's just Eternal Envy talking. I mean, there's gaps where I'm asking him questions where he doesn't really respond. But if you really want it, I might release it anyway. But don't count it likely, guys. But we'll introduce the players and the teams. So on Kaipi, you have Armand playing the Templar Assassin, Pai Li Dai playing the Lina, Zar playing the Shadow Demon, Babar playing the Bat Rider, and looks like SexyBamboe is going to be playing that Luna as Snaking. Shout out to Snaking, who's not in the game, but shout out to him nonetheless. Meanwhile, on the side of Dignitas, we have Tides of Time playing the Jakiro. Looks like Fogged is going to be playing that Tinker. AUI is going to be playing that Phantom Lancer. Way Too Sexy is playing the Bounty Hunter. And Universe is playing the NA. Universe is North American, quintessential North American stand. Literally stands in for pretty much everybody. And he's a really cool guy. But yeah, it looks like it's going to be Trilane versus Trilane. A lot more common these days, especially with this Trilane killing powers. It looks like we're going to have a solo Luna rather than something like a solo Bat. And Bat Trilane is pretty strong, sticky napalm, and he does increase damage, but I really just like Bat getting as many levels as possible, because Bat Rider effectiveness doesn't really, go down as the game goes on, but his killing power does get lessened as the game goes on, and he does need some levels, but he's definitely effective in a Trilane with the napalm. He can definitely keep the opposing carry back, especially a carry like a Phantom Lancer, who really can't approach the lane too aggressively. Jakiro, not the highest range hero in the game, and a melee hero. And with this triple range trilane, it's going to be really difficult for AUI to farm this lane. And that means Barrett will be able to pick up a very fast blink dagger. And you can see AUI already a bit flustered. Well, not really flustered, but missing a last hit with that Spirit Lance already. And you can see this trying just being incredibly annoying to deal with, as fortunately for Dignitas, they did manage to plunk that early Sentry Ward down to try to scout out any Observer wards. And this is the ward you want to play so you don't block up the creep camp, guys. So next time you play that, I have to remember that myself, as that is a very big issue for me. I always forget where to place that Sentry Ward in R2 sort of just survive, as AUI is going to take a bunch of damage. So Ice Plat is going to fly in, but really, with AUI so low in terms of mana, picks up 1 point at Doppel Walk, and he's only going to keep it at 1, most likely try to level up stats instead. But in this scenario, it might be more prudent for him to actually level up Doppel Walk to get that reduced mana cost, so he can really take advantage of that Spirit Lance. But I expect AUI to do the stats Spirit Lance max, or maybe put a couple points in Juxtapose so I can get that early jungle farm going up much more quickly, as looks like there's going to be a Napalm stack. Impale going to slow down Zar, as Tides of Time gets 2 stacks on him. And what are Zar and Lina doing? They are just chilling, as looks like Tides of Time disconnects from the game, and you can see that Ice Head is going to be melting in a flash. So, one of the innumerable pauses that are in Dota 2, one thing I do miss about Dota 1 is that the pauses would just be non-existent in a replay cast, but, you know, it's still the best beta ever. And keep in mind, it is still a beta, technically. Although, I think Valve have sort of said it's not really a beta anymore. But still. As Fogged is going to go for the laser rocket build, he might just keep 1 point to laser and start putting points in March Machines. I think that will be a bit more effective against TA, but TA without 100 mana cost or refraction won't be able to spam it as frequently as she would like, and I'll just speed up the replay on ×2 speed, so hopefully the game can get back underway very, very soon, as I think it's on ×2 speed. You can see the water flowing ever so quickly towards the wards. And Tides does reconnect, so time to slow down the replay, and hopefully we can get this game back underway, but Tides of Time in a lot of trouble. And I'm still not too sure what Lina and Zar were doing as a disruption, and considering they had 2 Napalm stacks, not in game yet. 2 Napalm stacks, but they were just hitting creeps trying to steal any experience that was possible. Tides of Time in a lot of trouble. Universe Impale is on cooldown as well, and that's what happened. I forgot, Impale actually stunned Zar, so he couldn't actually get in position to cast a disruption. But still, Jakiro, not the highest base moon speed in the game, has 2 stacks on him, only level 1 Napalm, so it's going to be not as easy to pick up the kill, but 1 more stack should seal the death of Jakiro, and there's not really too much Universe can do, so it's best for AUI just to really just get going, keep the farm up, and really try to get the lane somewhat in control, where you can pick up the farm. PL needs a lot of farm. But I still maintain PL, next to Void, is the strongest late game hero in the game. As Go is called, Tides of Time is in a lot of trouble. 1 more stack onto Tides of Time. He does have Ice Path. He's going to try to use a disruption, going to be casted. As Impale's going to use on Zar. Here comes the Light Strike Ray. Zar might take the fall. He is going to lose first blood. And Tides of Time is actually going to escape. The disruption actually screwed things up immensely for the side of Kaipi, and there goes another pause by SexyBamboe. So I'm going to fast forward it once again. But yeah, pretty big mistake by that Child even to cast a disruption right there. It prevented further stacks of the Napalm by Babar, and Batrider is not going to pick up a kill, and he's only level 2. He's going to get caught in the Ice Path as well, but AUI does not have enough mana to keep up the chase with the Spirit Lance. So they do give up first blood, and more importantly, that does give AUI and the heroes of Dignitas a couple more experience and a bit more gold for their efforts, so they might be able to pick themselves up an early pair of boots, upgrade the courier, things like that, which all can be very, very useful. You can see NA, Nyx Assassin, does have a Smoke Deceit to go for an early gank onto RMN. Meanwhile, Fogged is going to go back into the March Machines build, only keep 1 point in the laser for that mischance, which is so annoying, but RMN does pick himself up a double damage, but now his refraction charges will just get drained very, very quickly. He does have boot speed as well to keep up the harass on Tinker. Looks like Fog not really having the best of time, has a bottle, but TA already keeping the farm out, but that's to be expected before Tinker really starts getting that March spam going. TA can just sort of have her way with him. But once he gets a couple more points in March, TA will be hard pressed to really stay in lane against Tinker. Meanwhile, SexyBamboe just having a grand old time farming on the bottom lane. Already has the triangle boots, probably going to go for the drums. Just really boost that mood speed to extraordinary levels, and is just going to use his triangle boots to refuel his HP, and there goes another pause. So, time to fast forward. Disconnect, tide spiking. You can see Kaipi starting to say, you know, getting a bit annoyed. But I think they're probably playing on US East rather than Europe, because I know a couple of players of Dignitas are in the West Coast, and since Kaipi are European, they'd just be, whatchamacallit, they'd be playing on US East. Because that is the middle ground, and that is where the best place is. It's the US East. Shout out to the East Coast. Anyway, we can see Banner picks up the bottle. Like it will just use that to perhaps bottle courier. As you can see, the bottle just being delivered is going to deliver himself a magic stick. Might not even upgrade to magic wand, doesn't really need the stats, but just really wants that burst heal. But he could upgrade it and nonetheless. But he's really only keeping that bottle for the bottle courier and perhaps get a rune if TA decides to make, or if TA tries to make a break for the rune. Banner can just try to get in place and just try to pick it up ASAP. You can see it's 3.5 minutes in the game. Gold graph, experience graph really don't mean anything at this stage. Net worth don't really mean anything. GPM really doesn't mean anything. Last hits is probably the most important tab at this stage. But still, Dignitas, this is a pretty strong trilane. Batrider, Lina, and Shadow Demon. And still, they have not given up any kills. AUI has 6 CS, which is not very good, but it's better than nothing. And Babar, after chasing down the THD, only 9 CS, should be getting a lot of free farm as another pause going to fly in. Means more fast forward as Fogged saying that his mouse literally exploded, spontaneous combustion. He should get that treated because mouse burning is really not too good. Yeah, don't really have anything else to say on that matter, but you can see actually Fogged is going. Oh man, Bambo going to 500 ping every 30 seconds. This is very, very annoying to deal with as a spectator, but thankfully I'm not watching this on the stream. I'm not one of the players. I'm sure it's equally annoying for them to deal with as well. And keep in mind, this is still the early phases of the Defense 3. Defense 3 has a bit of controversy since Toby was casting a lot of Malaysian Dota, but I think once it really starts getting underway, it'll still be a very strong Dota 2 tournament, so definitely check it out. You get a nice, cute, fluffy courier if you buy it in-game. But yeah, if you don't, just check out Toby's stream. But you can see Fogged is actually just going to go to the Ancient Camp and start stacking up, get that March spam going, and try to really increase his gold count. He doesn't even have boots, so it's going to be quite a while before he picks up that boots of travel. So looks like I'm going to have to fast forward again. Double fast forward for double the trouble. And THD very close to picking up the boots of speed. And looks like the go call is called. And Babar, after the chase on the THD, really has had his form slow down. So they're really not going to be trying to look for any more jungle ganks, I imagine. They're really just going to try to keep Babar in the lane and try to go for lane kills rather than jungle kills. But we're going to see Tides roaming to the mid lane. There's a Ward spotting his movement. And you can see Fogged, after stacking the Ancient Camp, really nice timing, was able to pick up that illusion rune as well. So he's going to stack it every even minute. And while he's doing that, he is going to be checking the runes. So double purpose Tinker play, as looks like Shadow does pick up a kill on AUI, but no pause. Oh my god, a minute without pause. It's almost the apocalypse, guys, as RMN with that double damage versus Illusion. Fog Dota is going to be in a lot of trouble. Mischance Laser going to fly back in. Looks like Merchant Machine's doing too much damage to RMN. He's going to have to back off, use the bottle, use a Tango. He's going to try to get back in there. Fogged does have boots. No, does not have boots. But RMN, unfortunately, after being pushed back and having that mischance being casted on him for the laser, really couldn't try to pick up the kill. And you can see Fog just going to go stack the camp yet again. Golden Greevel just flying hovering above the courier that cost apparently $1,000 for various members of the community. But now you can see Babar really starting to get the napalm stacks, and I mean, I'm not too sure how I feel about this, but considering that the creep was at the tower and considering the creeps were pulled to this camp, he really didn't have any choice. I said before he should probably stick in lane, try to get his farm up, but when the creeps are at the opposing team's camp, you really have no choice but to go. But still, I'd like to see an early pickup of Dust, just try to keep AUI down even harder. As you can see, Lena has a smoke to see as well, and you can see Fogged is trying to make his transition to the Ancient Camp once again to get the stack going. Try to get that fourth stack and be in position to try to pick up the rune as well. As you can see, a couple bit of harassment on SexyBamboe. The track is going to come in and the shuriken toss is going to clean him up. Nicely done by Way Too Sexy. Usually snaking plays the offlane role, but Way Too Sexy saying, okay, I can do this, and this is not that bad. And Tinker does stack the Ancient Camp yet again, but looks like there's going to engage in time to time. Does take the fall. Lena and Chow Demon, did they use the smoke deceit? They did, and looks like Jakiro paid the price for his insolence. Meanwhile, Bounty Hunter picks himself up a double damage rune, and keep in mind that Luna kill was a track kill as well, so gonna increase his DP, increase his gold, increase his experience, and really keep down Luna. I mean, what more can a Bounty Hunter ask for? And really, SexyBamboe is just going to back off. He can try to bait him in for the Eclipse Dive, which it looks like he is doing right now, but Way Too Sexy is going to escape. No, he does take the fall, because guess what? There's a Sentry Ward spying him out. So nice bait by SexyBamboe, saying, alright, dive me, but you don't have creeps with you, so you're going to get at least 2 bounces of the Eclipse, and really playing his cards right. Very, very nicely done. So even taking on a double damage tracked Bounty Hunter, but keep in mind Bounty Hunter no longer has reduced armor on the track, and you can see Fogged really just trying to get the March spam going. That's going to be a hefty bounty of gold once he really starts getting that spam. Already picked up a point to rearm to really get that going. Meanwhile, TA does pick up a kill on Tides of Time, as I am eagerly awaiting Fogg's March machine spam to really start getting going. Will they go for a gank on Luna? Looks like they are not going to do that. I don't think Fogged, well, he does have the rocket, but it's only level 1. It's really not too much damage to speak of whatsoever. But he does have the increased movement speed of track if he really wants to get a kill. But looks like there's going to be engagement as Barrett does barely manage to escape disruption. Going to catch AUI. Soulcatcher going to come in as well. AUI, and there goes the Dust. It looks like Babar trying to tranquil up, try to give himself some HP. Dust is going to keep AUI in place for a bit longer, but a nice double man impale. Can Lena get the last hit? She does. Lena, that 625 attack range never looks so good as he managed to pick up that last hit. And she is going to be very satisfied. So 5-2 in favor of Kaipi, as Dignitas a little bit caught on a pretty bad footing at this stage with Dignitas, known for their teamwork, known for getting back into the game where otherwise it may seem very, very bleak. And keep in mind, Tinker has really not done anything at this stage. Bounty Hunter's gotten 1 kill, and even though Phantom Lancer has not got too much farm, the fact that they have Tinker means that Phantom Lancer will get some farm, even though Tinker will be teleporting around, stealing some of Phantom Lancer's farm with that March machine spam. The fact that he is going to be TPing around will mean that he's going to be drawing some attention, and that's going to mean that Phantom Lancer will have a bit more of an opportunity to pick up some farm himself. So Tinker Phantom Lancer, definitely a very annoying carry, very annoying combination to deal with for a very good reason, as looks like he's trying to do another stacked right now. Just checking out his gold, 430, and it's going to jump up very, very soon. We'll keep an eye on that, but looks like there might be a bit of action going on in the bottom lane. No, just a couple heroes running around. NA, Universe could not make anything happen. Impale and Mana Burn were used, but unfortunately not enough mana to really keep up his pursuit. And that's a problem with NA as a support, but the thing with NA is that Impale doesn't really get worse because it's a stun that can catch multiple people, that does a decent amount of damage and stuns for almost 3 seconds. Mana Burn's only going to get better. For the most part, Spark Carapace only gets better as well if it reflects physical attacks. Magic attacks, it doesn't really get better, but that stun also invaluable. Vendetta only gets better as it gets leveled up, so NA really just gets better. And the fact that a support that gets stronger as the game goes on is pretty invaluable. As you can see, Tide of Time was at 400 gold, now at 1900. Going to pick up the Boots Child very, very soon, but it looks like Babar going to be in a lot of trouble. Going to be tracked with the Shuriken Toss before Babar can escape to the lofty heights of his perch. Shuriken comes in, cleaning up Babar, and now Bounty Hunter is going to pick himself up an invisibility rune. Looks like the Radiant do not have knowledge. No, never mind. They have Templar Assassin, so they do have knowledge that Bounty Hunter picked up that invisibility rune. But it's a little bit of overkill, Bounty Hunter getting that invisibility rune. And now Tinker can finally start playing Dota, but it looks like he's going to be in a bit of trouble. SexyBamboe so fast, Eclipse going to be casted, Fogged immediately takes the fall. Here comes the tides of time. Is there going to be any more teleports? No, SexyBamboe was just too fast, and those Tranquil's going to start ticking in very, very soon so he can heal himself, try to get himself back in the lane. So Fogg's immediate attempts to try to play the game of Dota were just like, nah, bro, I'm just going to own you with Eclipse. And here comes the Centaur, going to spot out Way Too Sexy, and Way Too Sexy does have to be very, very careful. Shuriken going to come in. Looks like Lina does take the fall. Nice timing by Way Too as he jukes out of the way of the Sentry Ward, and Luna has to be very, very careful because one more Shuriken and a hit will mean the end of her. As you can see, Way Too try to catch off the Luna, but Luna just saying, okay, I'm just going to stick next to the tower, just tranquil, salve up, and I'll be just fine. Meanwhile, I'm really curious on Babar's farm. Really not too much farm to speak of. If he does go for straight Blink Dagger, it'll be very delayed. And Batrider, he does want a faster Blink Dagger, otherwise he will just start getting very, very squishy. Because Batrider really does not want to go for too many strength or HP items that early on once it gets fast Blink Dagger to really make use of that Flaming Lasso. But the fact that the Blink Dagger will be so heavily delayed is really not too good. As you can see, SexyBamboe is revealed. Shuriken Toss going to do a lot of damage, as well as the Rockets. Looks like March Machine's going to be used as well. Really strong over-aggression by Dignitas, and they are going to pick up a kill, but they lose Way Too in the process, and Fogged is going to take the fall as well. But that did draw 2 teleports in. So, a bit of an overreaction by Kaipi, I think, as that Lina was pretty much able to pick up the kill herself. And that means Finalizing are going to get some farm. So, despite Dignitas losing 2 heroes in that exchange, they lost Tinker and a Bounty Hunter, 2 strong semi-carries. They did force 2 teleports, and it's really going to have to force Kaipi to push on this tower, otherwise it really won't be worth their while teleporting back in. But it looks like RMN is here to reinforce the tower push, is going to go for the Yasha rather than a fast Blink Dagger. But as we saw earlier, Way Too was able to pick off the Courier, giving themselves a nice bit of gold for Dignitas to go in. I'm sure AUI really appreciating that, as looks like Universe is going to be caught in an awkward position as Babar is going to try to charge in. He's going to be soul captured, and as looks like the fire is going to be spread all around. Universe is going to be the first one to fall. Light Striker holding Way Too in place. Looks like the Martian Beam's trying to go off. Fogged is trying to get in position. Lucent Beam going to come in, as looks like Fogged did kill Lina, but looks like he does pay the price. Barrier took the fall as well. March Machine just so powerful. Armin trying to desperately escape, does pop the refraction. Here comes the Eclipse. Can Luna get anything done? SexyBamboe, oh so sexy indeed with that Eclipse, and Armin with some nice plays able to pop that refraction with the magic wand, able to kill Way Too. So Kaipi really going off to a strong start in this game, 12-7 in their favor. And they have heroes who scale pretty strongly. Shadow Demon, Batrider, Luna all scale pretty well, but the fact that AUI just lurking in the shadows, and I really doubt that AUI will go for Radiance. I don't think he's a huge fan of Radiance. I know for Bear, he likes to go for Mjolnir rather than Radiance. But AUI probably going to go for maybe Drums, but definitely a fast diffusal. And the fact that he'll get a fast diffusal means that his damage will just be increasing so much. But Luna able to clean up Tides of Time. Looks like the Light Striker is going to come in. Is Laguna Blade online? It is, but unfortunately damage not enough. Shadow Poison scouting it out. Track and Impale going to come in. Shuriken Toss cleans up Luna, as looks like the Mana Burn going to drain all of Lina's mana, so she can't even cast Laguna Blade. So 2 easy kills being picked up by Dignitas. Nicely done by Universe and Fogged. And keep in mind, those are track kills to boot. So now we'll take a look at the net worth. You can see Tinker 6.1k gold in the bank with that Boots of Trial. Rain Curve finally respawns. But other than that, you can see the 2 semi-carries on the side of Kaipi doing fairly well. You can see Finalizing having a miserable time in terms of his net worth at this stage. And the gold graph, it is in favor of Kaipi, but not really too big. It's mostly because of those 2 towers and an extra 1,000 gold on top of that with the kills. And because they have been getting more kills, the experience graph also means that they are ahead in that regard. But yeah, TA going for a straight up Yasha. Not too sure how I feel about this. I mean, it does give some increased chasing power, as looks like Tinker does pick up a kill easily onto Babar. Bamboe trying to teleport in, unable to do so successfully. But here comes RMN. He's looking for it. Can he get anybody? Oh, Fogged is just going to explode in the blink of an eye. RMN is going to come back in. Wait 2, is his Windwalk on cooldown? No, RMN unable to make too much happen. Looks like Zar going to be in a lot of trouble. Dusk going to be casted, but just out of range for AUI. Sentry is in place as well. So 1-for-1 Fogged for Batrider. And I think that was overall pretty solid for Dignitas. They lost to Tinker, but Tinker can pretty much get any farm. And Tinker only gets stronger as the game goes on. Batrider doesn't really get... I mean, he becomes a very... like one of the best initiators in the game once he picks up his dagger, but the fact that Babar is really struggling in this game, I do not know if it bodes well. They really want to get that blink up so they can blink less of PL and really just try to take him down ASAP. And PL has not died in quite a while. Is gonna go for that fast defusal, trying to give himself that damage. And also very important is the fact that everybody on Kaipi is very speedy. They have Lena, who's a fast support. They have Shouting with the Purge. They have TA with the slow traps, and the Yasha. They have Luna, the fastest carry in the game in terms of base movement speed. So that Purge will just do an immense job in terms of just really helping to catch up to Luna and the other heroes of Kaipi and just saying, alright, you can't run anymore. As my voice is unused to the casting, it's been like 9 days since I last casted. As Listening Beam gonna fly in, saying, "What's up, Allie?" Or AUI, I'm here. What are you gonna do about it? Meanwhile, RMN, I imagine, is saving up for that ultimate orb, but he could be going back into a blink dagger. It's really difficult to say at this stage. Fogged, since he's dying so often, still managed to find himself a nice 4-staff. That's because of the ancient stacks being so powerful and just gives so much gold. Meanwhile, Wave 2 has picked up the drum, so yeah, that's why PL was able to go for that Diffusal Rush. Universe is level 8. He's leveling up that Spike Carapace rather than getting that Mana Void or that Mana Burn. Sometimes when I'm really far ahead on NA, if I'm playing mid-solo NA, I like to level up Mana Burn, but only if I'm really far ahead, because at that point you have the mana items to really fuel that mana burn. Here comes the rockets and the defensive power of Dignitas starting to kick in. March Machines, rockets, ice path, but here comes the Eclipse just saying, screw all that, I'm just gonna own you. SexyBamboe gonna come back in as the Purge is not yet online, but looks like Finalizing Solutions are able to pick up the kill. Armin's gonna have to get the heck out of there. He is gonna get out of there. Batrider did take the fall as well. Now Zar is in a lot of trouble. He's gonna be the next one to die. Track is just so powerful. They're just saying, minus armor, who needs to get reduced armor? We're just gonna kill you because of move speed and because of the incredible gold bounty. And you can see if Fan went to Diffusal and 700 gold in his pocket, he must be feeling pretty happy with himself with those kills. Way too probably feeling pretty happy with himself as well. So Luna's been dying a decent amount of time, is level 14, level 13 up on TA, 12, 12, 12, and you can see the supports and Barrett are only level 8. I mean, the two strongest heroes on Kaipi are performing very well, but you can see other than that, the level advantage really heavily in favor of Team Dignitas, and the fact that Barrett is really struggling is not going to mean too well. He's going to go for that fast blink dagger, but he's just going to get the blink lasso and just pretty much die in a team fight. He's going to have to really use that blink dagger for ganks. And Dignitas might know that. That's why they might not be caught in that position, as looks like Universe going to find himself a wide Babar in the forest. Shuriken Toss going to fly back in. Babar just trying to find himself the jungle to farm up. But unfortunately, it's going to be stopped. And the Invisibros are just going to continue their ganking party very, very happily. RMN just going to stay in the shadows. Does not want to be tracked. Fortunately, does not have dust, so he can't go for kill on way 2. But still, the fact that Barrett is struggling so hard, I don't think speaks very well to at least the teamfight potential or the late game prowess. They still have Luna, who does fare remarkably well against Fanwhitzer. TA actually performs decently well, but only if Fanwhite Illusions are pretty much in a line. The fact that Fanwhite Illusions pretty much spread out in an arc when they target a hero is not too good. Disruption going to be cast, Sentry going to be used as well. Soul Catcher, Purge, Way 2 is going to explode. Templar Assassin is going to pick up the kill, going to have that Manta style complete. But yeah, Luna, very, very strong against PL, but I still think PL overall is a stronger carry. He's already picked up the Yasha as well, so going straight for that Manta style. Meanwhile, Fogged has the Force Staff. We'll see if he goes for Blink, or if he goes for something like starting to rush that Hex. I guess we'll find out right now. He's going to go for that Hex Rush. I like this choice. I mean, Blink is really more for an aggressive lineup, but they have Phantom Lancer, they have Bounty Hunter, they have Tinker. They don't really need to be too aggressive. They can just sort of take their time, and the fact that they can just sort of ride Phantom Lancer to victory means that he really doesn't have to go for too many aggressive items like Blink Dagger as... Oh my god, Babar just exploding. That was, I think, a bait, but Babar just put himself in a very awkward position, and the burst damage by NA and the rockets were just too much. NA, not even level 11, so his Vendetta is only going to get stronger, but it's not even that. It's the fact that Barrett at this stage in the game is just so squishy that it's just pretty easy to kill him. So that's why I'm not really too big of a fan on Barrett or Blink Rush after sort of the 15-minute mark. But I guess he's already committed to it, so might as well just keep going with it, I suppose. Meanwhile, Luna trying to pick up her Manta style as well. Armand's picked up his. So, overall, I think Dignitas got themselves back in the game. They have yet to kill... Well, they've killed one tower thus far. But other than that, they're really in decent shape. They have Phantom Lancer and Tinker that can pretty much stop any pushes and just split push the other team to death. I mean, Phantom Lancer would probably split push a bit harder with that Radiance, but I mean, he doesn't even need Radiance as Illusions tank up. As he gets more damage, they can clear creeps just as fast. Well, not just as fast. So now the split pushing onslaught's going to begin. Fogged, just trying to get the push going. Going to be well on his way towards picking up that Hex. Meanwhile, what will Kaipi do? They might have to go for a group assault soon, but it's going to be very difficult pushing against Martian Machines and the NA. Especially with the AoE. If something like an Eclipse or a Laguna Blade gets casted or Dragon Slave, then the NA Spiked Carapace will just work wonders. And let me tell you something, playing Huskar vs NA is probably the worst thing ever. Because the fact that Huskar takes a long time to jump up saying, "Here I am," just means that NA has all the time in the world to get that Spike Carapace on, and then suddenly, boom, you're pretty much dead as a Huskar at that point. But that's neither here nor there. There is no Huskar, unfortunately. And the tower count is almost evened up. Just one more tower remains between Dignitas and evening up the tower count, but Babar is finally going to pick up his Blink Dagger. Maybe. Nope, Blink Dagger Universe gonna say, "Nah, bro." As here comes the Shuriken Toss of Babar, able to survive it in the nick of time with that Magic Wand pop, but unfortunately the Flame Break not gonna push Way 2 back into the tower range. Flame Break not really the fastest projectile, and it might have just been outside the AoE, or he might just miscalculated it. But Babar is gonna survive, gonna be able to pick up that Blink Dagger soon. That's all you really wanted, but I think killing Way 2 would be a satisfying way to say, you may have killed me 6 times, but I'm finally gonna get you. Gonna get you this one time. But unfortunately, that's not gonna be the case in this situation. Meanwhile, Luna has picked up the Manta style, net worth Tinker very, very far ahead, but you can see Phantom Lancer, even though he's not really catching up because he doesn't have the Radiance or anything like a Midas, he's gonna get up there. And that's really all that matters. No, he did catch up, as actually the item was just on the courier or something, as he picks up the Ultimate Orb. So now you can see Tinker and AUI really having a nice time. Meanwhile, TA, I don't believe has picked up an item in quite a while. So we'll see if she goes for straight BKB. I think that will be a strong case. But still, BKB against PL, against March of Machine Tinker, against Bounty Hunter physical damage, really won't help him too much. So it's a bit of an awkward situation for TA to sort of decide what item to go for. I think really he's gonna have to get the BKB because sooner or later Tinker will pick up the Hex. Ice Path is still very annoying. Laser Chance is still very annoying to deal with the STA, and one of the most annoying heroes to deal with in the game. But TA senses something is up. The traps did spot out the movement of the Dire, and Impel and Rocket's gonna fly back in, but they're gonna find themselves in Illusion Universe. Not too happy with that. Way too gonna go for BKB himself. There are a couple ultimates that go through BKB, Purge, and the Flame Lasso do go towards BKB, but that'll really prevent the Laguna Blade damage, the Eclipse damage, and the Firefly damage, which is pretty significant. People often underestimate how much damage Firefly puts out, but it really just puts out way too much damage. I mean, 18 seconds of 80 damage per second is pretty good, guys. Pretty good. Of course, that's assuming if the hero is in the Firefly for the entire 18 seconds, which should never be the case. Unless you're a masochist, which if you are, I guess I can respect that. You have your own life decisions to make. Can't really judge you. As I thought for a second RMN had a gem, but he's just going to find himself in a world of hurt, but Refraction was actually popped before he was trying to kill the neutral, so he's going to take a lot of reduced damage. Trap going to be popped, Macropyre going to drain a lot of RMN's HP. I do not think that Kaipi really want to go on the pursuit. Well, NA, very low in terms of mana, but yeah, they are not going to go on the pursuit too aggressively. Luna trying to get the push going. I think Kaipi were actually trying to group up and push mid, and looks like Zar. No, Way2 just wants to find himself bigger fish to fry. Gonna go after the TA instead. Gonna track him, but the reinforcements are gonna come in. No, just doing a bit of harassment, so I think Way2 could have probably killed the Shadowdune, but I guess Disruption just very strong defensive spell, and the fact that RMN was in such nearby proximity. It may spy out the Lina as well. Now, I think he did spy out the Lina because Lina has gem now, but now AUI just saying, alright, you guys forgot about me, but I'm still in this game. And now with the Fish Manta and 3,200 gold in the bank, if he starts going for a heart, his illusion is going to be pretty impossible to kill, especially with the Luna only having a Manta style at this stage in the game. You can see the gold graph starting to climb up in favor towards Dignitas, starting to cement their advantage. They're farming neutrals, they're farming ancients, they're farming everything, and the kitchen sink. And looks like Zar tried to TP out, but unfortunately is thwarted in that attempt. It could be worse. They could have killed Lina, who has a gem. Actually, I think they just used the gem to deward. Did Zar have the gem? That would be really unfortunate if Zar had the gem. Where'd the gem go? Maybe they gave it to Carry. They gave it to Bat, which makes a lot of sense. Bat, pretty tanky, as Luna did pick up a kill on Way2, and it looks like Tides of Time going to be a bit of trouble. Mana has been drained on RMN's side. Tides trying to escape. Flamebreak is going to push Tides back. Nicely done by Babar. Tides is going to explode in the fire and the flames. But AUI and Fogged just saying, how are you going to deal with this, guys? We have all these split pushing capabilities. 8 illusions and the Manta style illusions to boot. So it's really going to be difficult to really defend. I think if Kaipi don't try to get a mid push going, they're just going to have to start buying boots of travel, because otherwise the split pushing capabilities of PL and of Tinker are just going to be too difficult for them to deal with. I mean, Luna is very fast. She can transition between lanes very, very quickly, but still, I don't know how fast she can kill the PL illusions. And I think he must be going for a heart at this stage. I don't really know what else he could go for. He could go for more damage. He could go for something like a crit. The crit does give illusions some damage, as it looks like the PL illusion's going to go to town. They're going to split up, constantly replicating themselves. But yeah, the fact that Luna really has not made too much item progression, and I imagine PL is going to go for heart, making it even harder for Luna to kill them, is just going to mean that Kaipi are on a clock. I mean, if their Luna was ahead of PL at this stage in the game, they wouldn't really be feeling the pressure nearly as much, because Luna could probably clear up the illusions, but Luna with only a med style at this stage really can't handle the illusions, even by herself, even without the Phantom Lancer, real one being there. As Smoke to See is going to be casted, there is a dire ward that will spot the movement if they happen to stroll right by it, and they are going to get revealed. Looks like Trap is going to be sprung, and guess what? They're going to last themselves the illusion. Is Babar even level 11? No, so the last 90-second cooldown. And that means they really can't really take a fight for the next 90 seconds. They really want to have that lasso up. So Dignitas just playing very slow, very methodical, very carefully. And that's probably the right way to approach it in this game. BK finished up on way 2. Universe finally level 11. PL is going to go for that heart. Is going to have it finished in about 150, 200 gold. Hex fished on the Tinker. Even Jakiro has Medallion as well as Arcane Boots. But still, the burst damage by Kaipi cannot be underestimated. If they can Laguna a key target with some Eclipse and Lucent Beam damage stacked upon that, that target that they're focusing will just die, even if it is a PL. Especially if they have a Soul Catcher on top of that. But the problem is getting a Soul Catcher on PL is probably like the most difficult thing in the world. That guy just has too many illusions. As Heart's finished, and looks like Dignitas want to try to take the Roshan. There was a trap scouting at the movement, but without the lasso, they really don't want to get initiation going. They do have the gem up, but Shadow Team is just going to die to these illusions very, very quickly, so the Roshan's going to be tempted, and it's going to be taken without too much difficulty. No, here comes the engagement, as the Luna Illusions are going to be casted. Fog is going to teleport himself or force himself back up onto the high ground. Babar going to charge in, taking so much damage from March Machines. Fogs is going to get lassoed, but Babar might just die in the March Machine assault. Fogged is going to take the fall, but Bamboe is going to be hexed. Looks like way too trying to go on the assault. BKB's finished by the Luna. I did not notice that. That's going to be pretty important. And it's AUI trying to escape. Probably could have stayed with the heart, but unfortunately not enough mana, and the illusion is just going to chase our way. 1-for-1, lost a Bat Rider for an NA, and Fog to bop back. So good engagement by Kaipi right there, showing that they're still very much in this game. But the question is, what will they do now with the Lasso on cooldown, with a lot of their HP depleted, and more importantly, with Luna BKB on cooldown? And the answer is they can't really do anything. It's going to mean a free Aegis for AUI. And this is an interesting scenario right now. I talked about it with this Envy. With Envy. And you have the choice. You can either push in the 6 minutes, or you can just farm up and then make some aggressive moves, but then when the Aegis closes down, you just play very defensive for the next 4 minutes. But overall, I think Way2 and I agreed that the Roshan change was necessary, because before you could just farm for 10 minutes after picking up the Aegis and just pick up the Aegis again. So a bit of an annoying mechanic, but it's there, and it does help to make the game a bit more interesting. Definitely adds another variable to the game. And the fact that Bat died means he gave up the gem, so it looks like Universe very, very happily able to stay in the midst of everything. Is a gem picked up on anybody else? Nope. No more gem on the side of the Radiant. Meanwhile, the Dire, I imagine, do not have their own gem. Probably just killed the gem. I mean, they have 2 invisibility, or 3 invisible heroes at the moment. Like, what's the point of holding on to the gem unless they really want to deward? But here comes the Blink Initiation onto Armen, completely out of mana, and he's going to die in an instant. Nicely done by Universe and Tinker. Universe acting sort of like a pseudo Bat Rider, just blinking in with that stun, which for all intents and purposes is almost as good as a Flaying Lasso. It can't go for BKB, but it does do damage. You can't drag an opponent, but it has a lower cooldown. And it has longer range. So that means the bottom tower will take the fall. And will Dignitas defend the top tower? I think they have the capabilities to do so, but it looks like they're just going to elect for a tower trade. AUI just going to push down the middle. So they are going to give it the tower. Looks like Blink and Laguna Blade going to be used on Fogged. And Fogged should not have buyback. So this is Kaipi's time to strike. Yeah, he does not have buyback for another 3 minutes, but I think the Illusion Army is starting to get too strong. Diffusal Blade level 2 picked up on AUI. Really going to be difficult to deal with him now. He's going to drain so much mana, and he's going to do so much damage. It's not even funny. Well, it might be a little bit funny for AUI, just to see my illusions can take on heroes by themselves. Meanwhile, you can see the gold and experience graph. Experience graph, not really that important at this stage because everybody's starting to get on even experience, but still you can see the levels. Finally, you can see Batrider surpassing the Jakiro and the NA, but at this stage, they pretty much have all the levels they want. Last hits, PL just out of his mind with 315 last hits at this stage in the game. But Kaipi is still managing to hold themselves a kill lead. The problem is how they deal with this PL, and Luna really needs to pick up a damage item. Maybe it'll be crit, maybe it'll be a butterfly, but those illusions can pretty much take care of her at this stage. And it's just so difficult to stop a split pushing PL and a tanker at this stage of the game, especially with NA just lurking in the shadows, able to blink in with that impale. It looks like Bounty are able to pick up Xiaodian with relative ease. Not too sure what Zara was doing so far on that top lane, but he paid the price for his insolence. As looks like Babar trying to get the blink in 4 staff, but unfortunately just not able to pick up the kill on Fog, not even able to get the initiation off. At least he didn't use his lasso. But that would have been a pretty important kill, keeping Fog down, who had died twice. But now Fog might be able to find himself some buyback gold soon enough. And meanwhile, AUI and his friends gonna be able to clean up the top tier 2 tower, and Lina literally explodes in a blink of an eye. And the illusions just going to town, trying to get the disruption onto illusions so they can get some illusions. Keep in mind the illusions that Xiaodian creates do go for the radiant side, so it's going to be some pretty funny illusion fights going on right now. Luna trying to do as much damage with March Machines, and Rocket's doing so much damage. Looks like Arman just going to explode as well. And the burst damage coming in for Dignitas, the damage over time, the sieging potential just so strong. Blinking by Nerubian, not enough mana to really keep with the pursuit, but that allows PL to get in position, drop a lance. The top tier 3 tower does take a fall. Looks like Universe is going to be in bit of trouble, but that is just going to be a trap. A bar going to explode as well. NA going to pop the spike, going to get the heck out of there. Eclipse being casted, but Bamboe can't do anything. Looks like BKB going to be used as well. AUI still with enough mana. Aegis still up on AUI as well. That is going to mean the top racks. Oh, looks like a good play can be casted on way 2. Can you escape? The top racks do take the fall. Xiaodian with the shot poison was able to clean up way 2. Meanwhile, AUI does manage to finish off Bamboe. He should just suicide so he can get full mana because he has that Aegis. But he's just going to use the arcane boots, and he's just going to use the Manta Split because the universe is there. Looks like Zara able to go Scepter out of there. Nice move by Zara. Meanwhile, Lina trying to pick up the kill on Universe is going to pick up the kill successfully. But that really doesn't solve the issue of Phantom Lancer killing your base. In your base, killing your buildings. What are you going to do about it? The answer is not too much. And keep in mind, Fog just continuing the pressure, as looks like Fog might have been a bit over-aggressive, but he has picked up the Blink Dagger finally with the Hex. He definitely has the mana to spam it, and the March Machine's constantly canceling barriers. Blink Dagger means Batrider can't really go on the offensive. So Dignitas, winning a long, drawn-out siege fight, will finally manage to take an advantage in the kill score, take themselves racks. And you can see the items on the side of Dignitas are really becoming overwhelming. And I thought I saw a relic. It is a relic on Jakiro. Divine Rapier Jakiro, Tides of Time. I'm sure this is what he did often in the Dota Cash days. You know, played against Tides a decent amount in Dota Cash. Always got stomped, but always well-mannered. And meanwhile, AUI might be in a bit over his head. Do they have the gem to spot him out? Looks like Batrider will just explode in the blink of an eye. Today's word of the day, it has been explode, as it looks like Bamboe just able to do some right clicks, but really doesn't have the damage to speak of. Only has a Manta style with that BKB. It looks like NA picks up an easy kill on RMN, and I think this is going to be GG soon enough for Kaipi. And it'll be really the case. I mean, the game's never over until one of the teams picks up a Rod of Eidos, but the game is over. GG's called by Zara and SexyBamboe, so Dignitas managed to get themselves a nice comeback. Never really under too much pressure, but they're definitely behind at one point. It was 12-7. Luna was starting to get farmed, but the fact that Barrett really couldn't get anything going, Babar just died too often, and NA has been able to pick up the kills with Tinker. AY did not die for a long while. The Trilane really not able to get too much done. Unfortunately, meant the end for Kaipi in this game. So yeah, just gonna wait for the final score screen. As everybody on Kaipi has disconnected, the throne will soon follow. But yeah, this is just sort of a warm-up cast, trying to get myself back into the casting groove. It's been a bit over a week since I last casted the game, so my voice fully has not adjusted just yet. But hopefully enjoy that nonetheless. I'll try to bring some more commentaries very, very soon. Try to bring some dual casts as well. But yeah, thank you for watching. Please subscribe, follow, and all that jazz. But thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.